Hey, Coach, man, what time is it?
Oh, Slim, you know what time it is. 6 o'clock. Stay up and down. It's HomeSpun Sports with Coach John Montgomery. Sports talk with a twist of down-home wisdom. Welcome. We're mighty glad that you have tuned in once again to HomeSpun Sports. It's sports talk with just a little twist of down-home wisdom. I'm your host, the coach, John Montgomery, back home. The Ken folks call me John 2. My ride or die, last P in the shell, my baby boy up in good old Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. What's up there, Slim? What's up?
How you doing, Coach? How you doing, man? I can't call it. I can't wait, Coach. I can't. I'm good, and I can't wait to do show 3, man.
Man, I am excited, Slim. Let me tell you something, my brother. In the historic, prestigious history of the University of Oklahoma football program, one of the greatest to don the crimson and cream is our distinguished guest for tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the great Joe Washington.
How you guys doing? How you doing, Joe? How you doing, man? This is wow, man.
Listen. Slim, we're in tall cotton, brother. We're in tall cotton.
Come on, man. I'm in Oklahoma, man. I got goosebumps right now. I feel like I'm talking to a legend. I am talking to a legend.
You are talking to a legend. Listen, Owen Memorial Stadium, he would be out there on the field and as people were filing in to take their seats. But the stadium seat 80,000, and it would be packed just to watch him at the end down there catching punts, because he catch a bunch of them in his silver shoes. He had 2 or 3 pairs. He had Nike silver shoe, Adidas silver shoe. Did you know which one of them shoes you was going to wear, or you just doing that to give the fans a rush?
You know what? I'll tell you what. I knew basically what shoe I was going to wear.
Okay.
Hey, I did travel with a bunch of them. I mean, hey, I packed my shoes depending on how the turf was that particular day. But at Owen Stadium, I usually had the same one, which was an Adidas Superlight that I wore. And the reason I wore it is because it was worn a little bit.
Okay.
Slide, because when I cut, I didn't want to get the stick or anything like that, or my sole come off. Because at one time I made a cut and the bottom came off my shoe. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I pretty much knew what I was going to wear there. But when we go to other places and checking out their turf, I kind of, did things like a used car, hey, see if this is going to work or not,
Joe, did the silver shoes, was that go all the way back to Port Arthur Lincoln, or did you just started that when you got to OU?
Man, look, let me tell you something. My brother,
Kenny, that played in North Texas.
Yes, the quarterback for us at Lincoln.
Okay,
first of all, him went to Dad during our season. I was a senior, he was a sophomore.
Okay.
We got to play together. Hey, that was my dream. I'm going to tell you, I'm off course or anything, but that was my dream, to play for my dad and have my brother quarterback and hand the ball off to me.
Mm-hmm.
So we're playing the season, the first game or two.
Uh-huh.
Him says, you know what I'm going to do? I know you think I'm getting off track, but I'm not. He said,
come on.
I'm going to tell Dad we're going to wear silver shoes. I said, you going to do, white shoes. You say, what? He said, yeah, I'm going to let him know that we're going to wear white shoes.
Okay.
During that time, everybody was wearing black,
Okay.
Sure enough, he goes and asks the man, that's what my dad was, but my dad was the man, hey.
Okay.
You don't just walk up and tell him what you going to do, but my brother being the quarterback and, designing all the plays and being up at night with Daddy, Hey,
Okay.
this is what he did. So we wore white shoes. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Now, fast forward to me going to Oklahoma.
All right.
Oklahoma wore
Right.
white shoes.
Right. I remember. I remember.
Hey, way ahead of their time. Way
Way
ahead.
ahead of the time. Absolutely.
Not only did their players and linemen and DBs and offensive linemen wear white shoes,
Mm-hmm.
whole staff wore white shoes. The
Okay.
equipment managers, the coaches, assistant coaches, everybody wore white shoes.
Mm-hmm. Except
So,
Little Joe.
huh?
Except Little Joe. Except Little Joe.
Wait, no. I wore, hey, I'm watching them. So when I decided to go to Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
okay, when I decided to go to Oklahoma, Kim came to me. It was in May after I had signed. And he came to me and said, "Hey, Joe." I said, "Yeah, man, what's up?" He said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "Okay, what is it, Kim?" He said, "You know what you need to do?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I'm talking about and you at Oklahoma."
Okay.
And what do you mean what I need to do? He said, "You need to paint your shoes silver with red shoestrings and red stripes."
I
So
remember. I remember.
you
That's stand out right
This
there.
is, this is what my little brother told me. He said, because you are special and you are different and you need to do something other than them wearing and you wearing white shoes.
He wasn't lying about that part. He wasn't lying about that part.
Hey,
Slim, take it over.
So Joe, the Sooners, Las Vegas says the Sooners are going to win 7 games this year. That's their total for 2024. They'd
mm-hmm,
be happy to win 8, 9, 10. Big congratulations if you do.
mm-hmm.
But let's say, for instance, they bottom out. They win 5, they win 6. What do you think the athletic director, Joe Castiglione, should do?
Well, first of all, I think the main task that we have to
Mhm.
do to make sure that we are competitive is be a little bit more aggressive on defense.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
we think. Let me put it to you like this. I don't know if you guys remember 2014 when we played Alabama in the Sugar Bowl.
I remember it well.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we raped and pillaged the whole Alabama team.
You
We
did.
we were in the quarterback's pocket so doggone much that they kept showing his mom and his girlfriend and how sad they were and how they were feeling so bad that their son and boyfriend was getting murdered out there. You know what I'm
You
saying?
I
did.
remember that.
You
So,
did. You
I remember
did.
that.
That was 24. That was 2014, Joe. This
I,
2024. This
10 years.
2024.
yep, no, but what I am saying
I'm
is that
listening.
you got to go back to that particular mindset where you let these guys play defense and get after it and be one on one. You got to
Okay.
you got to do that. You can't
Okay.
team from the back end of the secondary to do anything. You have got to make sure you start in the trenches.
Okay. Okay.
We
All
can
right.
will be fine. Now, as
Oh,
far as what Joe Castiglione is going to do, he can't do nothing. Hey, he's signed up for this. So what we've got to do is play football. Hey,
okay.
got to play
Well,
football.
we got
And
to play.
hey, he should know that because hey, he's played against all these guys. He is a defensive guru. So he should understand that hey, you've got to put mano on mano. You can't make it uneven by putting two offensive guys on your defensive lineman. You got to give these guys a chance.
Okay. Now
We,
talk. Now listen. Hey, Joe. I already talked to your boy Kenny Pope. Your
mm-hmm,
homeboy Galveston Ball.
right.
Kenny Pope recruited Slim when Slim was in high school. Kenny Pope at Iowa State. Slim. So he had already told me he got a win total in his head. But Slim got a couple more things I want to ask you. Go ahead, Milton. Go ahead.
So, Coach, August 31st, that is when you guys are being celebrated for the back-to-back national championship wins, the 74 and the 75 teams.
Mm-hmm.
I know y'all are glad you're hosting Temple instead of moving that date to the 21st of September when you play the Tennessee Volunteers.
No, we are not happy about that because you know what? You know why? Because
Why?
hey, we are the original badasses. So hey, I want them to see who the
Cheers
original
for that one.
badasses were.
Yeah,
So
what I'm talking
I
about.
hey, I want the SEC to see that hey, they just started this stuff. We've been doing this a long time. And hey,
Slim,
and we got the original badasses that we want to go out in single file and let them know that here we are. And listen, if they had the procedure back, that they used today, the playoff and all that. If they had that back when we were there, we'd have won 4 national championships. Okay,
no doubt, no doubt you would,
thank
Joe.
you very
No,
much.
Joe, no doubt you would, and I knew you was gonna get a response because that's that Sooner magic. That's what that is. That's the Sooner magic, and I get it. Still,
Now back to them teams, back to
Okay.
those teams, coach. All of which were recruited by Barry Switzer.
Yes.
Now he had the forethought to go to Texas and recruit the good black athlete in mass. Why is it that you think that Daryl K. Royal is didn't do that? Why?
Well, you know what? Well, first of all, okay, it didn't start with just Coach Switzer. Chuck Fairbanks was the one that laid the groundwork for all
okay,
of by him being
okay.
he laid the groundwork
He
for it.
laid the groundwork.
And with them, with these guys, with in the frame of mind, of wanting to win. And look, granted, during those particular times, it was tough everywhere. You talking about Houston, for players to get in the larger echelon of colleges. Bubba Smith
Mhm.
from Beaumont, Texas, he got up to Michigan State. The South was the South,
Mhm.
but someone always, you've always got to have that particular pioneer. You
And
know,
Barry Switzer and Joe Barry Switzer was that.
yeah, yeah.
Now you,
Like I said, and he coming from Chuck Fairbanks, who assembled that particular staff with Barry Switzer on it. So when Chuck left, you know, um, hey, man, we had a black quarterback,
hey,
Kerry Jackson.
come on now, popcorn, popcorn,
Absolutely.
popcorn.
Yeah,
Joe, right? I got to because I know this will endear you and bring back to your remembrance because you were there. But Barry Switzer was smart enough to cross that Red River, and I remember when he brought Wendell Mosley with him from BCL Moore and Greg Pruitt. And then
recruit.
I remember, and Greg, I remember when Wendell Mosley said, I don't sign somebody gonna make all y'all forget about Greg Pruitt. And he was talking about you. And then after you came Billy Sims, Kenny King, Thomas Lott. But Joe, that dynamic has changed now, my brother, because y'all ain't playing Iowa State and Kansas State no more and Okie State no more. Y'all got
In the
Georgia.
SEC.
But hey,
Y'all got,
Yeah, the SEC.
first of all, we ain't playing nobody. We talking about them that's there now. You know what I mean? Because
okay.
if you were talking about playing us, hey, we would still finish 500 or whatever, and we 70 years old. Okay, all right. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey,
You right. That they need that kind of swagger now, coach.
hey,
They need that kind of swagger now.
but like you said, they had the gumption to be the pioneers to do that. And like
He
I said,
did, man.
hey, Chuck Fairbanks was the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Woodson was the assistant head coach, offensive coordinator,
Okay.
and I'll tell you this is how this really works. So
Okay.
Greg would always tell me that Coach Michaels would always go through Texas, and he would always look at see all these players and wonder
Okay.
what's going on. We got all these players, and we don't have any up there. Well, when they saw Greg play. And hey, he had 2 guys that come to Oklahoma before Greg actually came. And so
Mm-hmm.
that started, the back and forth and the indoctrination to getting, excuse me, some of these doggone guys here.
Yeah.
And
Lionel Day, and Albert Qualls.
but here's another thing too.
Okay.
You got to be able to recruit a lot of black kids. You need
Mm-hmm.
to have black coaches.
That,
You know,
thank,
Shout out to Marcus
thank,
Freeman.
so
thank you.
so this is what they did. They hired Coach Wendell Mosley,
That's what I'm talking about.
who was who was one of my dad's best friends.
Oh man. Oh man.
We played against them all the time. And
Okay.
what the way this came about with me is Coach Michaels, the offensive line coach, was going through to Louisiana getting ready for the Sugar Bowl, and he talked to me and said, Joe, we're interested, but we're going to the bowl game. We just want you to hold off until we get back from the bowl game. And
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't thinking that much about that. I said, well, okay, no big deal, whatever. I did like him, and he was going to come back through. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
he didn't come back through. You know who came?
Okay.
Wendell Mosley.
There you go.
Yeah,
They had,
And it
there you
was,
go.
and
and it was
I was shocked. I said, Coach. He said, yeah. And the first thing he told me, he said, you come to Oklahoma, you'll have a chance to play in the same backfield with Greg Pruitt.
what a
I
back.
said, look,
Joe, listen, man.
mm-hmm.
Before we let you go, I know you're gonna be at the Temple game where they're gonna honor you all. Would you do this for me? Will you
What's
do this
that?
for me? You'll see my homeboy Myron Show, Rod's baby brother. I
Yeah.
know you'll see Myron. Please give Myron my best. And Charlotte Sal will be there, the first black cheerleader in Oklahoma football history. Please give her my best. Joe, thanks, man. Appreciate you
Thanks
coming
again
on
for
the
coming
show,
on the show,
man.
Coach.
Go out
Thank
take
you again.
anytime, man. Thank
Love
you.
you, man. Joe,
All
thanks,
right,
man.
all right.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. Wow, Slim. Slim,
Oof, dude.
do this, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Show that USC punt return.
Got it.
That shit, man. Look,
Got it.
that brother.
Got it.
Woo, Joe, man, Joe Washington.
OU running backs, dude, in my head, Stuart Pruitt, Joe Washington, Adrian Peterson. Top
And
three.
Billy Sims. You don't put Billy
And Billy
Sims.
Sims. I put Billy Sims up there.
Yeah,
That's my top three.
yeah,
That's my
yeah,
top
yeah,
three.
yeah, yeah. You're Mount Rushmore. Mount
Not my
Rushmore.
Rob Murphy. That's my Rob Rushmore.
That's
Exactly.
it. That's it, man. Yeah, no question.
So, Coach,
Yeah,
this Caitlin Clark Angel Reese rivalry.
yeah, man.
I mean, dude, what in your opinion,
Yeah.
what do you think that it's done for the WNBA?
Oh man, look at the numbers. Look at the TV ratings. No question. And man, two great players, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark couldn't get a ring when she was at Iowa, but Caitlin Clark is putting butts in seats
Yeah,
in these
yes, she is.
stadiums. And so, and we talked about it in our meeting, Mildred, but what really you got to give Caitlin, in my mind, I see, you talk about the WNBA, I see Chamberlain Russell. I see Bird Magic. And man, yeah, these are just, ooh, man, what a rivalry. And they're young. Slim, they're young.
Coach, see, that's what I'm saying. This is you. What you got to understand, Coach, is this is a college rivalry turned professional. Okay, because last time I checked, Caitlin Reese doesn't have a ring.
No, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark doesn't have a ring. Angel Reese got a ring.
Angel Reese got a ring, but Slim, let's not deceive ourselves. Them people coming up in their stadium to see Caitlin Clark play.
She's not even going to be the WNBA Rookie of the Year, Coach.
But she's well. But let me tell you something, partner. Let me tell you something. Caitlin Clark is the cash cow of the WNBA. Okay, Angel Reese, I give her props. She got mad skills. She's a player. But Caitlin Clark is the money cow. She the cash cow.
With the combination of them both, Coach, everybody is wanting to pick up these two ladies with the WNBA. All the sports networks. That's what I'm saying.
I think they will be Bird Magic of the WNBA. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. That's my take.
I give you that. Now let's talk about another rivalry. Let's go to the Major League Baseball. We are 41 days away from the greatest time of the year, October. All right. Now this is another heated rivalry: Shohei Ohtani versus Aaron Judge.
Hmm.
Okay, in your opinion, Coach, who do you think who favors in this rivalry? Who is the best? I mean,
Wow. Slim, two very, very good players. I dare I say great players who different dynamic. Over in the National League, Shohei Ohtani, the 30-30 club that the great Willie Mays
exclusive,
invented, no
invented.
question. Well, this guy's taking it now to the 40-40 club.
40-40. And coach, I'm telling you, with 41 days, he could get to 50-50.
That's what I'm talking about, Milton. He could take this thing, he could blow it out of proportion. He could take it to 50-50. And then over in the American League, Aaron Judge is the fastest player to reach 300 home runs. He's done it in 955 games. Mildred, that's
95,
almost
95, coach. 95.
nine, 995.
Yep,
Okay, well,
995.
Slim, that's almost a home run every third time at bat.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's the fastest.
Next closest is Ralph Kiner.
Ralph Kiner, and it took Ralph Kiner 1,087 games to get to 300. So this boy Aaron Judge, man, is just. So I think that what
I'm
we're
about to say,
seeing right.
my money's on Aaron Judge, coach. My money,
Yeah,
he leads the league in RBIs and home runs, 49 home runs and
mhm,
119 RBIs. You really
absolutely,
can't do that.
absolutely. Two very good players. Two very good players. Right quick before we get out of baseball, right quick. Now we got 15 to talk about. Would you let Shohei Ohtani pitch again? You know, he had the Tommy John on
Oh,
his
he did. He
elbow.
had that Tommy
With,
John. Yeah, coach. No,
and
I
then
wouldn't. I would. I'd find a way to keep him relevant though, because I'm gonna need him for October. I'd find a way to keep him relevant. I wouldn't have him
okay.
starting maybe a relief pitcher.
Okay. You paid him 70 million, million, and that's a whole lot of money to pay for just a designated hitter. I get it. I get it. He knocked the cover off that baseball, but yeah. But anyway, two great players, uh, and they're young. We got fortunately we'll be able to watch them play a long time. No
Who
question.
will be? Now, coach, let's talk about college football.
All
Now we had
right.
Monty. Now we had Monty the Magnificent on last episode, and by the way, definitely need Monty to come back. But he said the haters would have to wait until next season for Deion Sanders because he said, excuse me, that they were going to be bowl eligible. They got to get past North Dakota State to do it, coach. They got 9 FCS championships since 2011. How is Deion Sanders going to do this?
Well, it ain't gonna be Deion Sanders. It's gonna be that offensive line. And then and you're right, Mildred. North Dakota State ain't no joke. Slim. North Dakota State has two first round draft picks on NFL rosters as we
That's right.
speak. I'm talking about
Carson
Trey.
Wentz and Trey Lance. Yep.
Absolutely. Two first round picks. North Dakota State is a very good football team, but they're FCS, Slim. And Deion Sanders said last year when asked about that atrocious offensive line that got that boy Shadir Sanders, it's a wonder he ain't in concussion protocol.
Yeah, really.
Okay. So he took a beating last year. And Deion, true to his word, said, I'm going to replace every last one of them. And he did. So I'm going to be very anxious to see what that left tackle, Jordan Seaton, who was the number one high school prospect coming out of the country. Deion landed him. He'll be
Got
the
him.
starting left tackle. Just a freshman. Just a
Just a
freshman.
freshman. And he
Then they're
finna
coming
start.
back. They got a new guy. They got Tyler Brown at the left guard. They got Hank Zelinkus at the center. They got Justin Mayers at the right guard and Khalil Benson at the right tackle. It's a brand new offensive line. Can they run the football?
Yeah.
If they can run the football, Las Vegas says Colorado by 9, and I think they'll cover that. But they must run the football because if they run that football, Shadir will kill them with play action pass.
Okay, extra pass. Yeah, him and
Yes,
Travis
he
Hunter,
will.
coach. They
The-
paying him. They paying him $700,000.
that's,
Okay,
that's what Colorado State paying.
that's what
North
they
Dakota
paying him.
State.
Coach. That's what they paying him. $700,000. They better win that game.
They better win that game. Lord have mercy. Well,
Let's talk about what's up.
and right quick, because Monty did say that they would be bowl eligible. This game is of paramount importance to them because they got to go back to back on the road. They're on the road with Nebraska. They on the road. Then they go to Colorado State. They
Mm-hmm.
got Fort Collins, Colorado for Colorado State. They must be 3-0
3-0
when they
when
come
they face
home.
Baylor.
Baylor on September the 21st.
Coach, and if they hold serve to Baylor next week, they go on the road and play UCF.
Well, okay, but let's get them. Let's get them to 3-0.
Let's give them 3-0, right?
Home. Yeah,
and
okay,
then come home.
Okay,
All right. 3 other big games we got to discuss, Coach.
All right. Okay.
And the whole plan about this is whose plan is working, right?
Okay.
It's Georgia transfer portal versus Clemson homegrown. What's your take? Who you got?
Oh, man, I never thought I'd live to see the day, Mildred, that Clemson would be at home a 14-point underdog.
They 14 points.
14 points. You don't hear me? I never thought I'd live to see the day. Dabo, we're going to grow our own. We're going to develop our own. Kirby Smart at Georgia, transfer portal. Whose plan is working? We'll know a week from the day.
Yeah.
August the 31st.
August 31st, Coach. Texas A&M hosts Notre Dame.
Oh, Lord.
Notre Dame is a 3-point underdog in this game, Coach.
Notre Dame is a 3-point underdog, but this is a game Marcus Freeman must win. He must win. This is year 3 for Marcus Freeman in that Notre Dame football program. Mike Elko has a very good team at Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher left that cupboard well stocked. But let me tell you something. We talked about it on the show last week, Sam. Now, you can't. A black man head coach at Notre Dame can't be average. And Notre Dame is in the 7th spot right now. So this whole CFP thing is like these horses lined up for the Kentucky Derby, or they're in the starting gate. Okay,
and they're off.
That's what I'm talking. And they're off. But Mildred, it's all about.
Down the stretch they come.
That's what I'm talking about. Preach, Reverend Slim. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be all about down the stretch they come. So this is a ball game. Marcus Freeman must win. No question.
In his 3rd season, Coach, and also in his 3rd season, Brian Kelly to LSU. They host USC, the Trojans, and I'm talking about the Trojans, Coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Brian Kelly's a 4-point. Brian Kelly's a 4-point fake. Las Vegas likes them by 4.5 points in this game.
They ought to. Brian Kelly is in year 3, and Slim, what he's sitting right there about that 12-13 spot in that starting gate. In that starting gate, and
12 in the coaches poll, 13 in the AP poll.
That's what I'm talking about. And so he's got to put himself in position to be in position to come in first when it's down, when they turn for home. And they won't do that until December, I get it. But still, this is a ball game. You're playing USC. Lincoln Riley's bringing a team that had won 7 games last year. This is a ball game in Death Valley that Brian Kelly needs to win.
Before we get off college football, Coach, we got to talk about the very first college football game of 2024. Did you see it, man? I mean, they're talking about this is going to be the upset of the season.
One of them, I would grant you to say one because what it did, in that starting gate position that we talked about earlier, Florida State was sitting there at the 10 spot.
At 10 spot, Coach. They finna drop. Drop.
Well, it show is fat, meat, greasy. They won't be at that 10 spot when they put you. No. So yeah. Most definitely.
Okay. Professional football, Coach. Okay. Now, if you ask me, I think the most important player on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster is John Reese Plumlee. Wouldn't you agree?
I would say you're spot on correct. And for this simple reason, if I am Mike Tomlin, I'm going to evaluate John Reese Plumlee very closely. And if I think that he's the player, John Reese Plumlee started off at Central Florida, okay, with Gus Malzahn and played well there, then transferred to Ole Miss and played under Lane Kiffin and played well there. He can play. And if he can play, like I think he can play, like I think Mike Tomlin thinks he can play, then you pick up that phone and you call Antonio Pierce, head football coach at the Las Vegas Raiders, and say, look here, bro, you know what, black man to black man, We don't get this opportunity often. And do you really want to go down the road with Gardner
I
Minshew?
miss you. Yeah.
Because Russell Wilson cannot hold off Justin Fields. He will not. And I think Mike Tomlin gonna have Justin Fields. Well, I put it this way. I would get Justin Fields ready and I would shop Russell Wilson. And the first call I'd make would be to the Raiders. Because let
Coach,
me tell you something.
hey,
Hey, no, I don't want to get to because let me tell you something. Antonio Pierce is in the AFC West uh with
Justin Herbert,
Justin
Patrick Mahomes.
and yeah, Patrick Mahomes. Okay, bro, do
You
you
really
really
want to go with Gardner? I don't think so, Coach. But I'll tell you who I call. You ask me, I call Minnesota because JJ McCarthy. Their guy that they get drafted high in the first round. He blew his knee out. He done.
Yeah, and so now Kevin O'Connell, the head coach at the Vikings, he's stuck with Sam Darnold. So if you Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold. Yeah, man.
Come on
Okay,
Okay.
and hold it, and most especially that dynamic is the NFC North, where you're talking about Jordan Love at Green Bay, who can
Green
play.
Bay.
Who you talk about Jared
Goff
and
at Detroit.
and a very talented Detroit team that
Yes,
can
sir.
play. And that boy Caleb Williams ain't no joke at the Bears.
He certainly didn't look like it in the preseason, Coach.
That's what I'm talking about. So you really, Coach O'Connell, you
He's
really
about to battle for third, and you really want to do it for Sam Darnold.
you would
Coach,
say,
look, it's been a pleasure being in the studio with you again, man. Tell Mama I love her, all right?
I'll do it, bro. Good to see you, Slim. Always a pleasure. Always, man. Real talk, real talk. And finally, do you know why the CFP is going from four games to 12 games? 12 teams in a bracket, 3 teams. Okay, do you know why? Money. Which poses my question. This NIL and transfer portal, if they don't get some parameters around this, we're headed for trouble. And I'm going to tell you why. A kid gets in the transfer portal and nobody picks him up. Now, the school that he signed with, he was on scholarship. This collegiate experience should be, we say it is, first and foremost about securing an education. Everybody ain't going to play in the NFL. But a kid gets in the transfer portal and nobody picks him up. And he waits and he waits. 2 things are happening. He ain't got no team to play for, and newsflash, he ain't got no scholarship either. And that's a dadgum shame. That's a dadgum shame, and they need to fix it. They are making enough money at the group of 5 schools and at the power 5 schools. They are making enough money. I know golf don't pay nothing. I know tennis don't pay nothing. I know bowling don't pay nothing. And baseball and track don't pay much. So you got a lot of these non-revenue sports, and going to a 12-game bracket facilitates that. I get it. But some of that money ought to go to make sure that the kid that don't get picked up, for whatever reason that he got in the transfer portal, he ought to be able to go back to the school that he signed, and his education ought to be paid for. And that's how I see it. 6 o'clock. Straight up and down.
Now, look, man, that's how we see it, and that's how it is. Can't wait to do it again. Thank you so much, Joe Washington, for being our special guest on this episode, man. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check this episode out wherever you get your social media, your podcast, and your news from, because it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. We're on everything. We're on everything.
Subscribe button. Hit the button. Hit the subscribe button.
Hitting the button, man.
So
Hit the button.
Slim, what you say? How many more?
Coach, we are 18, 19, 20 subscribers away from 500. Y'all hit the button. Please.
Hit the sub, and we don't want 500. We want 5,000. But we
want everything.
Hit the button,
Coach. Gonna get up out of here.
What? He said.